What's up, everybody? This is Paul Doski from the Everything Horror Podcast. It has been a long time. I apologize. And unfortunately, we had an unexpected event that occurred over October, which we ended up losing one of our fur babies of 14 years. So we had to take some time off to recover from that. But we did adopt a brand new baby who is now 11 weeks old. He was 9 weeks when we first got him, and he's all black as an honor to our fallen little fur baby. His name is now Cinder with a Y. And Tessa is here, but she's still cooping, and she wants to sit out for now because of it, but I understand her wishes. And I just figured it's time to come back, and I always give you guys something with the show. Speaking of show, this wasn't going to be a roundtable, but a couple people ended up bailing out on us because of personal issues beyond our control. But I do have with me none other than Ken Artuz from DecayMag, who has a very interesting topic. And we'll just go diving right in with Ken as he takes the floor.
Hey, salutations and thank you for having me. Hey, so was I plan C or plan B here for your roundtable?
Plan B.
It's good that you thought of me, and I'm always glad to be on your podcast. And the topic I have is an interesting one, and it is zombie films and the evolution of zombie films, and that in itself hosts different topics right there. Like, for example, slow moving zombies versus fast moving zombies. And not only that, but does the new theme, which is the infection theme found in 28 Days Later, does that constitute as a zombie film? In my opinion, and it doesn't. It's a rethinking of a viral outbreak, which goes back to zombie theme in general. And also the fast-moving zombies. I've heard so many times that zombies shouldn't be running because if they're dead and or decomposing, their muscles and joints and bone structure wouldn't make them faster. They will in fact be slower because they don't have the mechanics as a living person does. And I say to that, well, it's a movie, it's fiction. Hey, whatever ups the ante for something that is scary. I don't find slow moving zombies scary. So, Paul, first, let's begin. Fast moving zombies with slow moving zombies. That was the first evolution right there. What do you think about that debate?
Well, I think we got first introduced with slow moving zombies with the classic film Night of the Living Dead, which actually just celebrated its 50th anniversary. And, it's when you got to think, like, when that came out 50 years ago, that had to have been scary. And, because you're finally seeing a zombie film, and that is slow walkers. I don't even think they even named them, like, they had a specific name, or did they even call them zombies? I think they were just calling them, like, the Living Dead or something, like, pun intended. But I really honestly don't remember right now, like, if they even could even figure out what was going on in that film. But that, to me, was like the first introduction to the slow moving zombies. And that, for me too, even though we're talking film, but I'm thinking also like video game wise, which is like Resident Evil, where we had this dumb slow moving zombies as well. And then we get stuff like World War Z, which kind of gave us the running zombies, and that is interesting because I mean I thought zombies were dumb, and in this case it almost seemed like they evolved to not just running but to be able to climb on top of each other to overcome a gigantic wall. So, and then not only that, but you get a nice shot in the film of how badly these zombies want to eat you because they're trampling over each other, just trying to run downstairs. And I guess that would be interesting. I mean, I guess they were trying to make it scary. Don't get me wrong, but I think what you're trying to get at too is maybe it could have been too much. Maybe they were trying too hard, but I'm not quite sure.
Right. And for that instance, World War Z was a debacle in my personal opinion, and I would love to hear anyone else's opinion listening to this podcast. In my opinion, it was a debacle. Why CGI zombies don't work? And that scene that you had mentioned, Paul, and another scene where the zombies climb each other and take out a helicopter. When I was watching this, I'm like, what the hell am I watching? It's idiotic. It doesn't make sense. And the fast-moving zombies of Dawn of the Dead. We could also jump into a different topic, which we're not. But the remake, Dawn of the Dead, truly excels. Here we have fast-moving zombies and really up the action, the horror. If you're not fast enough, these zombies are going to get you.
Yep.
Fantastic film. Right? I've seen it more than 20 times. I lost count. But that's the type of evolution filmmakers are looking for. They think to themselves, okay, slow-moving zombies doesn't appeal to today's horror enthusiast. You could run around them, you could do this, you could do that, and you'll escape. But a fast-moving one, that's a different story. A horde of fast-moving cannibal corpses. I tell you, even in the video games, you mentioned video game Resident Evil. Which one was it? Dead by Dawn or something like that. That as the sun goes down, you have these nocturnal zombie creatures. That's the one. Hey, wow! Talk about survival horror. That's exciting right there.
Yeah, that was a really good game. I liked it. I enjoyed it. The nighttime definitely was the challenge, for sure.
And of course, you have the bad video games, which is Dead Island. Those had running zombies as well, and it just ups the action. I think that was a great call, whoever came up with that concept. And once again, for the viewer, they would say zombies are not supposed to run. Yes, but we're talking about a world that werewolves and vampires exist. They don't exist, but take it as a form of entertainment.
I agree. And speaking of, think we're on the topic of video game right now. Now, we got a couple video games coming out that involve zombies. One is the Overkill The Walking Dead. Another one is an actual World War Z video game. And then the finale one that I know of, which got delayed, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times now, is Days Gone. Now, Ken, have you heard any of these? And do any of these video games that I just mentioned spark your interest at all?
Well, they always spark my interest. The fact is, I have no time to play video games at all. I would love to sit down and play video games again. The only one that I've heard from that list is The Walking Dead. I'm not surprised. Another video game for that franchise. they keep dishing. They're gonna milk that franchise until it's bone dry.
Well, it's overkill now. So I don't know if you're familiar with the studio Overkill, but they created like Payday.
Okay, right. I
Yeah,
heard of Payday. Yes.
yeah. So it's that same studio that's creating a 4-player Walking Dead game.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
you'll
so
have
it's
to
like,
check out the trailer because I'm still trying to figure it out if it's supposed to be a survival horror game or a goddamn action game because during a part in the trailer I'm seeing somebody using like a submachine gun or something and it looks like they have tons of ammo. So it's just like what am I playing? Like Call of Duty or something?
uh, well, that there it is again. Uh, these zombie games that I grew up with involved thinking and crafting weapons and using your resources. Now it's totally different, and it's gone to the world of Call of Duty. And sure, I could understand you want to add the action to a horror video game, but I don't want to play multiplayer Call of Duty Nazi zombies. It just doesn't make sense for me. There's no entertainment there.
I used to like playing the Call of Duty Zombies a long time ago, like with World War. I like that one. That was like when they first introduced zombies. Black Ops and Black Ops 2 weren't bad either, but I remember Black Ops 2 was like the game that like uh did it for me for the last DLC because that last DLC for zombies for doing the Easter egg was a pain in the fucking ass.
Oh wow.
Like it was ridiculous. For those of you that may remember, it's where the DLC was you were in like a World War II or something like area or something where you had to do like the challenges, and on top of that, you had to charge the staff. Then you had to go inside the big ass robotic machine that came walking across the map. You had to actually go in it in the shoe or his feet, and you had to actually shoot under his feet because otherwise you could just get crushed to death. And I'm like, I don't remember really too much of anything else. I just know that DLC did it for me. I was so pissed after that we finally got that Easter egg. I said I never want to play this game ever again now because of this DLC. It was so
That happens. That I could understand that point of view. But for zombies in video games, the best multiplayer to date, and it's unfortunate that the developers didn't keep up with it, was Left 4 Dead. It has story, it has good characters, and the multiplayer is fantastic. It's unfortunate that it didn't continue, but
actually
in comparison to that zombie game, to Call of Duty, it's totally different because you have a goal, you have different levels that you need to go. I've played the Call of Duty zombie game, and it's just you're running around in a circle, shooting the zombies on one map. It's just I I'd rather watch paint dry on a wall than to play that again.
well, good news is they're supposedly going to be coming out with Left 4 Dead 4. Um, I don't know anything else more about it except for that it looks like it's going to be coming to uh console besides just Xbox. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we hear more sometime down the road. I mean, I
Yeah,
use
I've been hearing. I've been hearing
Oh,
that rumor for a while now. I'm just
yeah.
waiting to see.
Well, another game that I wouldn't mind checking out, which I've seen a few people play for zombie wise, is State of Decay.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a different approach to the zombie genre in which it's more not tactical, planning. You have to plan your resources. Uh, if that's the same one I'm thinking about, you got to plan your resources, build your community, so on and so forth.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I've seen quite a for the video game arena. There's so many great ideas there. I'm just wish Hollywood would, you know, cater to these ideas. Take a page from the video game community and create something worthwhile. Uh, Instead of doing these reboots, and please, no sequel to World War Z. Please, no. And leave Brad Pitt out of it too. He's Come on. Once a film has a big major name to it, I know it's a piece of crap, and that goes for let's see, yeah, practically every film that has a big major. Get a B movie actor, or get an actor that is not so popular. That's why, going back to Dawn of the Dead, you have Ving Rhames, you have a whole. I could even go into IMDb. These actors weren't so popular, and after Dawn of the Dead, you see, what, 8 out of 10 of them, they went on to bigger projects.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, that movie helped boost their stardom, I guess. A stardom. Oh God, like it boosted their name, so they became recognizable, and so people were like, "Oh, we need to get him or her on here because they're very well known." So that might help too, and yeah.
Yeah, I still find it difficult to see the asshole in that movie went on to go into the comedy series. I still see him as that guy from Dawn of the Dead, but he has a successful role in that TV series. What is it? The family TV series. I forgot the name of it right now.
Now, are we talking the guy that played as the sniper there on the rooftop?
No, that's Andy. See, I even remembered his name.
Okay.
Andy. No, as a matter of fact, Andy stars in Strange Nature, which just released a couple of weeks ago. That's a cool film that has a good social commentary. I really enjoyed that one.
Huh. Uh, where can you find that?
Oh, that's available on video on demand. Uh, all the platforms: iTunes, Amazon. Uh, Yeah, that's the only ones I know. Yeah, so that one, we even covered a interview with the director and also a film review on that one. And I didn't notice at the time when I saw the actor who portrayed Andy, he was in it, and a good role too. He's the protagonist's grandfather. I was like, oh wow, look at that! That's an extra treat. I didn't know about that.
Hmm. Interesting. Now, so this is going back to another game that I just mentioned. Just because I want to hear your take on this. So, besides just regular zombies that we know, which are human, now how would you feel about zombie animals?
That's different.
Because
That's an area that hasn't been touched on. And I always wondered, in the zombie apocalypse and all these movies, why aren't the animals contaminated? And sometimes we see the dogs walking about, or Well, in The Walking Dead, the horses become lunch, but you don't see the horse get up and attack a human to eat his flesh. I would like to see that. That's different.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is because we kind of seen, the zombie dog from Resident Evil. We're gonna be seeing a freaking zombie bear in the video game Days Gone. So
No
that's
way.
why, yeah. So that's why I kind of brought that up, because I remembered the Days Gone trailer where they ended the gameplay where he is about to go up against the zombie bear. And this zombie
Oh,
bear looks
God.
terrifying a little bit, because it's just like, you already got to think a bear is already a freaking killing machine as there is, but a zombie bear, like, oh man,
What?
that,
Oh, come on. I can't take that seriously.
dude, that's what I mean. Like what? I guess maybe it was more decayed or something. I don't know. I just there's something off still about it too. But yes, there's gonna be zombie bears in Days Gone, and there is in fact gameplay footage of it.
That's, that's funny. And one area in the zombie genre that I find that has its ups and downs is the comedy zombie films. Some are successful, of course. We have Shaun of the Dead,
Yep.
and but Hollywood doesn't seem to get a grip on how to mix a zombie film with comedy. The only one is Zombieland, and they're trying their best to bring that back. I say, okay, it's cool, you could bring that back, but what about creating a different zombie comedy, something else? Or why do we need Woody Harrelson and the other cast? Bring someone else in and make a sequel, a spin-off or something.
Um, there was an old film I saw. It was part of the 8 Films to Die For. If anybody remembers that, it was called Zombies of Mass Destruction. That was actually a comedy, and I thought that was pretty well done. There was a part, if I remember correctly, where one of the main protagonists brought their friend over to, like, talk to his mother about something, and, like, they were trying to eat dinner or something, and all I just remember is, like, that's when the mother all of a sudden starts turning and freaking out and, like, starts puking, and it's just really funny, and, like, I thought they did it pretty cool. I mean, it was definitely indie B-rated stuff, but I mean, I enjoyed it. But if anybody can get a hold of that movie to check out, if you haven't already, that's one I would recommend for sure. Shaun of the Dead is another great one. Zombieland, I can't wait for Zombieland 2. I think that's it for me.
Yeah. I can't wait for Zombieland 2 as well. But I just don't see how they were waiting just to get the whole cast together. Their careers evolved tremendously, and I just hope that the resources doesn't go into their paycheck, and then we forget, hey, wow, we need some practical effects to make these zombies look convincing.
Yeah, yeah. But, oh, speaking of the look convincing, yes, I'll go back to what you were saying earlier about CGI. The only time CGI is even good is if it's very little and it's really not noticeable. That's it. But if you can spot out that it's CGI, then it kind of ruins the whole entire movie. And there's plenty of movies where I've watched and the CGI just takes you away from the actual film. Like, you can't take it serious. And then you get some other good practical effects like The Void and Oh man, what was that other good one that I watched? I guess I'm drawing a brain fart right now, but I definitely remember The Void really well. That practical effects were really good.
Right. And hey, I do enjoy those zombie films from yesteryear that had tremendous amounts of violence. Because remember, the zombie apocalypse is not a happy thing. You got to see dismemberment and blood splatter. One film I just watched it this morning because I was just in the mood to watch it. Is Le Horde, and that's a French horror film, zombie film. I would even watch it without subtitles. That's how great it is. It's from France, and from beginning to end, it's just pure blood splatter survival horror. I would. They took a page out of a video game and they made it into a movie. That's how good it is.
Wow.
And that film has fast moving zombies. Once again, I particularly enjoy the fast moving zombie. It just enhances everything. And which leads me to the next topic here versus zombie films. Are they related? 28 days later, I hear it all the time that people put those films into the zombie category, but it's like, okay, how? They are infected with a rabid disease that makes them violent. You don't see them biting or eating flesh. It's through human contact, which is bodily fluids, that they become infected. And it's plausible. It could happen.
Yeah. That's almost saying let's throw in cabin fever into the category too.
Right.
I mean,
Rotting flesh.
yeah, that's like a whole different thing. Like, once again, because it involves the water this time. Something about
Right.
the water. So
Right. And that's plausible. That could happen too. Anything that has to do with the viral outbreak making humans deteriorate or making humans rabid, it could, and that's the scary part right there.
yes, yes. We just don't. We could actually create the zombie apocalypse ourselves. Anyway, I mean, we probably almost have anyway, like a couple times. I mean, there has been talks about fake stories about, oh my god, real zombies are here upon us and blah blah blah, and it's just like, yeah, okay. But I mean, it is quite scary though of what is really out there or what is really something we could create that could cause some type of malfunction to the human body to make us become a Walking Dead, I guess, for lack of better phrasing. But I mean, it's science. I mean, somewhere along the line, somebody's gonna go, it's science, and that's how the zombie apocalypse in the real world is going to happen. Because somebody was just curious of how they could make an actual living dead person.
Right. Well, there have been cases. I strongly agree that the cases did hit the news, mainstream news, and the government or the powers that be covered it up so quickly, and people just gobbled it up. There was one instance in Florida where a homeless man was eating another man's face, and the cops shot at this individual at close,
5 times.
right, and he didn't go down, and it
Ooh.
wasn't until they did a headshot that he fell down, and there was videotape evidence of this. What did they say? Bath salts. What the fuck is bath salts? Who came up with that? What is that? That was the most quickest excuse they've come up with ever. And after that, there were two other cases which they blamed on bath salts. And then all of a sudden, nothing. You don't hear no other quote unquote bath salt incident or somebody eating someone else's face. Like, what happened? Where did this go? I think that was some type of tinkering, and we were gonna have a zombie apocalypse there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. I mean, I remember that now that you said when you brought that Florida incident up. There definitely was another one that involved. I think it was a plane. I think there was another quote unquote outbreak on a plane. I don't know if you heard of that one.
But the one, I think the second case was a roommate or something like that, and he was eating his roommate's face. And once again, he or she, I don't recall, they stopped him with the headshot. So I'm like, okay, what is going on here? But that was so hush hush. It was so isolated that the news reports just stopped.
Well,
It's funny.
I guess
It's
the
fun.
government knows more than what we can get out of them, I guess.
Right. And another thing that really, it's actual fact. You could find this in the government files. Google it, you find it. It's in the directory of our own government that they have a protocol for a zombie apocalypse. Martial law, who would respond, FEMA, how would they set things up? I was like, what? This is how? Why? What do these government people know that we don't know?
Well, like I said, I mean, well, let's look at it like this. So, the government finally came out about UFOs. Yes, they're real. Yes, they've been experimenting or whatever and stuff with Area 51 and all that jazz. So the way I look at it now is, could that have started the whole like, okay, well, now we don't need to be hush hush anymore about the UFOs, because now, because of this quote unquote zombie outbreak that we were just talking about with these weird incidents going around, which we don't hear from anymore, like Ken has pointed out, is the fact that, okay, so now it's just like the new thing that they're covering up, like where we're not supposed to know, because I guess they finally gave away about the UFO. So that way it's just like, oh yeah, UFOs now exist. So it's just like, see, I told you. So now it's almost like we're being brainwashed to forget that even happened.
And it out. And just a quick Google search, I found the plan. Out of all places, just as of this, history.com, they have an article there about the titled Con Plan 888-11, and it is actually the counter zombie protocol. It's weird.
Oh, man.
And it says, quote, this plan was not actually designed as a joke, unquote. So that goes to show you, interesting.
Wow.
Hey,
I guess if we're still around in the next 40 years, maybe we might see it in person.
right. Well, I hope in that case, I hope they're slow moving zombies because, hey, my cardio is as bad as Conor McGregor. So I don't want to have to be running for more than 3 miles before I say, you know what, you guys got me. I'm hamburger meat by then.
Or you can just trip other people over to distract them.
Right, exactly, right. Oh, hey, that's one thing about zombie films. There's always the asshole that does the most stupidest thing, and people complain about that asshole. Damn, why did he do that? Why did he push his friend to get eaten so he could escape? And hey, Wouldn't you do that? Yeah, you calling him an asshole now, but if push come to shove, you'd probably do the same thing too.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, Infected, my opinion, it has nothing to do with the zombie theme. That's so something totally separate. Another film franchise that really capitalized was the Rex series. At first, you thought it was an infection, then they switched it around when Hollywood made their terrible reboot, and they say, you know what? Nah, it's not an infection. They're demons. How about that, Hollywood? Try to emulate that idea.
Oh man. Next thing we're gonna hear, God will come down and smite them. Oh man. Speaking of reboot, so when was it? Last year, 2 years ago, we finally got the finale of the live action Resident Evil, and now they're saying they want to reboot the entire series again.
Right.
Why?
I heard about that. I heard about it. It's, in my opinion, that's called the Alice movie because it's all about Alice. Who is Alice? Oh yeah, that's right. That's a character just so Jova Milovich could shine as the actress because her husband is the director. Oh wait, let's put our daughter into the film too. Oh, now she's the Red Queen. Oh, give me a break.
But we all know the director just wants to see his wife fucking naked.
All the time. All the time. Come on. Really? Where's the character arc? Where is the character development? You cannot create a hero protagonist that is stronger than the antagonist. It just doesn't work. She doesn't get hurt. It's just, if you want to see a great Resident Evil film, watch the anime film that
Yes.
the Japan has released. There's 3 of them. Great films, and they all complement each other because they focus on the characters from the video game.
Yes. I still have yet to see Vendetta, but I was just about to recommend that the computer graphic images, I should say. But yeah, those have been well done because I like how they're following the video games as well, in a way.
Absolutely. Those are phenomenal games. I advise anyone who really wants to delve into the Resident Evil mythos as a film, check those out.
Yes. It's probably available everywhere by now. So just type in Resident Evil Damnation, Degeneration, and Vendetta. But I believe Degeneration was first before Damnation. I believe.
Right, but all 3 of them are good. All 3 of them action, and I'm surprised that Hollywood only came up with Final Fantasy as a full CGI science fiction movie, and if to me it was a great piece of art, but it's so underrated. Why do we have to have Disney films one behind the other? Um, make a make a great adult-oriented CGI film that has to do with something scary, be it zombies or something gory. That would be the next best thing right there.
Correct. Now,
I mean, Wreck-It Ralph, really? Do we need to see Wreck-It Ralph wreck something again? Come on. I would rather see a zombie eat a, a zombie apocalypse or something. Something. Give us something, Hollywood.
I think that's the problem, though. They want to keep remaking old shit that we've already know and then ruin it, or maybe do a good job. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but so So for the finale thing that I can think of for zombie wise though, it is nice to see the. Actually, no, not for finale, but I forget. We got one more important probably thing about zombies to talk about, and that is the remastered or remake, I should say, of Resident Evil 2 that is coming out January from Capcom. They really completely rebuilt Resident Evil 2, and I'm impressed. And I have my hope for it, but at the same time, it's just like, with the way films are becoming too, with letdown after letdowns and stuff, I got to keep an open mind. Also, I can't go into it very excited, even though I love Resident Evil 2. I don't know how many hours I played the shit out of that game back in the day. But, you know, that once again was the game that got me into Zombie 2, because, that was the slow moving one with the zombie dogs and the lickers and whatever really the lickers are from, I forget right now, but maybe Ken could verify that. But that shit scared me back in the day, because it's just like, oh shit, I don't want to open that door because the zombie's gonna pop out in my face. And I don't know, I just always enjoyed Resident Evil 2, and and then another game that actually gave a good nod to was Raccoon City, or Operation Raccoon City. I thought they did a pretty good job, because once again they brought back the the brain dead zombies on top of some other stuff that we know from the Resident Evil world. And it, instead of playing as the protagonist, we're the antagonist, and it's just like, now we can see a different point of view of what would also could have been going on the other side of, like, Leon Kennedy, when the what was it, Umbrella, I think, was going after them. I believe I believe that was the Umbrella Corporation that was going after Leon in Operation Raccoon City. But I mean, that was another great little game. Did you ever have a chance, Ken, to play or see anything of that?
Yeah. Oh, I love Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. It was Nemesis. That's when I stopped. But then Capcom said to themselves, hey, you know what would be a good idea? What? Oh, let's put zombies and unlimited ammo and all these weapons. Oh, wait, let's put multiplayer and just forget about survival horror and using your resources and trying to figure out puzzles. That people don't want that. And what happened? Resident Evil went down tremendously. And now you mentioned that they coming back remastered. Didn't they remaster Resident Evil, and now they're doing it with 2? So in a way, it says, okay, I give applause to Capcom remastering old titles to try to get back Resident Evil fans, but at the same time create something new with the Resident Evil franchise, and go back to survival horror. We don't need the run and gun stuff that we talked about earlier, Call of Duty. We don't need that stuff. The same thing happened with Viscera, with Dead Space 1. Wow, amazing. And those are zombies, intergalactic zombies. And Dead Space 2, same thing. Then all of a sudden, let's add shooters. Oh my gosh. EA killed Dead Space.
Yeah. Even though I did enjoy playing Dead Space 3 as the second character, because you got to see side stories of that character, and I'll never forget it. I remember me and a friend of mine were playing Dead Space, and we walked into the specific area, and I'm not Isaac Clarke, I'm the other guy, which I'm brain farting on his name because it's been years since I played Dead Space 3. But yeah, the other guy that's with Isaac, and we walk into this room, and it's like one of his nightmares or something, and I feel bad for my friend because I'm on the mic on my PlayStation going, dude, do you see this shit? Do you see these nutcrackers? They're fucking staring at me. Are they gonna come to life? Like, dude, like, and then of course my friend is starting to think I'm fucking crazy because he can't see the nutcrackers at all. And I'm just like, dude, there's fucking nutcrackers right here. Like, they're staring at me. And then, we're going around, and the next thing you know, I'm like doing this, and he's like fucking yelling at me because I'm standing still to him, and he's fighting enemies while really I'm like fighting enemies too. So we're like both back and forth, like yelling at each other. I'm fucking killing my own enemies. What are you talking about? I'm standing still. And oh man, I'm like, I guess that's what I miss too about Dead Space 3 anyway. Is like if you have two players, it's amazing to play with, especially if you are playing with somebody who's never seen the second character and how his story plays out. I mean, you might have something like my story that I just said, where your friend might think you're fucking going cuckoo when you're really not. So,
Right.
yeah, it's nice and fun.
Yeah, that was a good introduction to the gameplays, having the co-op. I don't mind someone helping me out, but it's just the action. Action belongs in Call of Duty, and survival horror belongs in survival horror. And also, here we go, intergalactic zombies. That's what made, and a great story too about how people became zombies. That's an amazing story. I mean, I'm looking behind me. I have 3 books from Dead Space uh, in the artwork. The only regret that I have is I seen the action figures years ago, and I said to myself, I'm not getting that. Now, those action figures are $200-300 a pop. I should have gotten them.
Right? I hear you.
I should have.
That's like me.
Maybe I'll get the Chinese knockoff off of Wish.com. Get the knockoffs from there.
Oh, well, you know what's funny now that you mentioned it? Like Tesla found a living dead doll for Sam from Trick or Treat on Wish, and it's crazy like how much it is on there compared to what you would find it on Amazon, eBay, that type of stuff here, and it's just crazy. And so I know what you mean, and for figurine too, Ken. That was like me when it came to like Sleepy Hollow or like Gargoyle, like the TV show Gargoyle, like action figures. I don't need them. Oh fuck, maybe I should have got them.
Exactly. Well, I think we extended our conversation here with the zombie theme. But in your opinion, Paul, I want to pick your brain. What, in your opinion, let's say you're going to do a zombie film or a zombie series, what would be one of the things that you'll put in this project, and what are some of the things that you would not like to see?
Well, I would definitely have to put in the survival stuff where I would have my protagonist craft survival items, not just throw them infinite ammo and be able to get out of any situation possible. I guess I would keep that out, like the infinite ammo shit. I guess I would want to try to do something almost like The Last of Us, Like, because that was so good the way that storyline is. And they're not really zombies. I don't even know the correct word to even use them besides clickers, which I know that's like a fungus thing that's going on. But I would kind of almost do something along the lines of like having a Last of Us story where, you got a craft. That guy is going to go through like hell. And even with like some of the old Walking Dead comics, I want to keep it true to the survival horror. I don't want anything like World War Z where the zombies are going to take out a fucking helicopter or climb a wall. I guess I want to make it more realistic as possible when it comes to, well, okay, so if this was me really surviving and if I had to really defend for myself, what would I really need as a defense thing, I guess, is what I would do. How about you, Ken?
Oh, for me, I want character development. Every zombie film, you are introduced to the character and they're going to die. You don't want to get personal with them. But I want a zombie film that, okay, we know he's that the perfect example that you have there that you mentioned was The Last of Us. Character development. We want Joel to save the girl, not just because she has the cure, but uh, he has that bond because he lost his have that connection there, and they show that from the beginning as a video game.
Hard scene to watch. That scene where you find out Joel fucking loses his daughter, that was probably the hardest thing to watch in that video game.
Exactly. And that should be made into film, not The Last of Us. I'm saying that particular character development in a zombie film. That's perfect. And then have them, okay, if they turn into a zombie or they get bitten by a zombie, then we could say, oh man, really, why? And you feel that connection. But the shows like The Walking Dead, yeah, you have character development, but at the same time it's just so dragged out that, oh, okay, all right, the little girl kills her sister, okay, let's move it along, what's next for the next episode? It just feels too drawn out. If we have it as a film, condensed, short, but articulate, then that'll be a different story.
Yeah, that's another thing that Hollywood is definitely lacking a lot, is definitely character development. And it's sad because, like you said, when you go into a movie, you want to connect with the character, or at least somebody. And then if you surprise attack them killing the person that they just got attacked to, yeah, I mean, it's going to, it's going to play out like in a good way and a not in a great way. Like, it's a good way because you got the audience to connect with this person. And then it's a bad way because now you're killing them off. And so people are going to do like what they always do best, complain.
Well, that's whose fault is that? Is the fault of some horror enthusiasts that they support a reboot of Friday the 13th or Halloween comes back, so they, oh yeah, let's go watch this. No, we don't need that. That's outdated themes. Or the casual horror viewer that goes to the movies because they want to see a horror film, but they leave complaining that they weren't scared, but that doesn't matter because you just paid for 2, 3, 4 tickets. So that's what counts. So Hollywood executive says, hey, yeah, look how many sales we got. Let's make another one and another one and another one.
Like they did with Wrong Turn.
Oh my gosh. The first one was great, but don't get me started on the rest of them. That just Oh my gosh.
The last wrong turn I saw was the one where they were trying to make it as the prequel or the origin. It was that one.
Yes. Yes. I've seen them all. I don't know why. Don't tell me why. It's not just support. No. I don't know why, but I've seen them all.
No, I hear you. That's like you could say that with me. Why did I see every single fucking Saw movie, but I did not see the Jigsaw one, but I saw the other 7 Saws, and I'm like, why did I even see these? Why?
Right. And what made Saw so successful was the ticket sales.
Yes.
Gore. People want to see gore. And okay, here you go. Every Saw movie is the same thing, gore here, gore there, but people fail to realize part one didn't have not one drop of blood in it.
No, it did not. Yeah, no, it did not.
It was
I,
perceived violent.
well, the only quote unquote blood was, the quote unquote body that was already there. Which that was the most amazing twist of a fucking movie ever, in my opinion.
That was the
When
best.
that was so amazing. I still remember that scene, even without even watching it. It was one of those moments in film history where you just go, "Oh my god!"
That was a good delivery. And they go that film had character development.
Yeah, and indeed it did. You connected with the cop.
Everyone across the board. Everyone. That was golden. And then what do we get after that? Ah, exactly.
Well, I didn't mind Saw 2 and I didn't mind Saw 3 because at least then the way I look at it is the first 3 Saws should have been the trilogy because that was the end of Jigsaw, especially after 3. And then from 4 to 7 should have just no. No.
Yeah. Uh, I think it would have stopped just part one and two. That's it. But no, they milked it to the point that they just didn't make sense. They did it with Paranormal Activity. They're doing it with The Conjuring right now. So many spin-offs, and
And
they're just gonna milk it till it's dry.
yeah, what the other side story they're doing now with the Conjuring world? It's
The
they I
the
done
the
and then
Crooked Man.
yes,
Yeah.
him. Yeah, he's the next one now. Oh God. um, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that except for like what you said. They're just milking it now. So yeah, it's pretty intense. And I don't know about you, but the nun was not even like the nun just looks like it's dumb as hell. It doesn't even look scary as people are saying it is. And I haven't even seen it yet, nor do I really want to because you know, that's what I hate about the internet, especially with like that Netflix Veronica film, who was directed by the same person who did Wreck, which I love. Wreck, I love Wreck 1 to 4. Those were amazing, even though 3 really had no point in the storyline. But I like the nod that they did in Wreck 4 Apocalypse with the nod for that, if anybody's wondering, is if you guys remember the old lady in Wreck 3, she was actually on the ship in Wreck 4. So that was the nod of connecting 3 to 4, really, is that the old lady from 3 got onto the boat for 4. And yeah, I'll just leave it as that. But where was I going with this? It's just I guess it's just sad. I mean, Well, what's your thought? Have you seen Jigsaw, Ken? Did you even see the new one?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the new one. My co-host Stacy Cox, I believe she did, and I said, okay, the only way they'll bring back Jigsaw is ticket sales were good enough to make it valid for him to come back. If the ticket sales for that film are not as good, they're just gonna leave it like a one-shot deal. So I have yet to hear an announcement that they're gonna continue with that Jigsaw storyline.
Well, what if I told you that there was a couple movie deals going on from a couple websites where you could get the new Jigsaw film for $5 fucking.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
Already,
I
though.
would,
That's what I'm trying to say. Already.
wow. I wouldn't be surprised. Most of the horror films that come out of Hollywood are worth $5. I tell you, you bring up the Nun, and this is one thing. When you cover the horror entertainment genre, you're keen on a few things. Like for example, films that release in January, no matter how good the title is, who stars in it, or whatever, any film that is released in January are films that the film companies, the distribution company or the production company have no faith in whatsoever. That's the dumping ground. January. Why? Because people are have already spent money on the holidays. They don't want to spend any more money for January. It's winter season. Most of the time it's the weather is not so good. People are not going to go from a cold weather outside to air conditioning inside or whatever the case may be. February, it's another month that is not so good to release film. Now, case in point, the last Resident Evil film was released on January. The last Underworld film was released in January, and also that what was that Conjuring film, The Key, was released in January. None of them were successful and met rave reviews.
Insidious,
Uh,
not The Conjuring.
yeah, I think they were those. That's The Conjuring. There, or was it? Wow, I always get them. I think it was a Conjuring.
I know Insidious had the last key.
That's the one, right? That's the one. Yeah, I always get them confused. And
Yeah.
and another trick for horror films is the the distribution for January is no good, and also see now I had a brain fart. I was so wrapped up with elaborating January, I just forgot what I was gonna say here.
Oh man. Well, while you try to figure it out, I guess. We'll go into one of my topics real quick, and that is the reveal of the poster for the upcoming Child Play
Oh,
movie.
oh,
Oh God. Can we just put on that poster failure waiting to happen?
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh
Uh, I
God.
I am not a Child's Play fan. I never enjoyed the concept. It's too comical for me. But I oh, why does it need a reboot? The franchise had its demise, and what was the other one that just came out? Curse of Chucky? Was it that one? It's on Netflix.
Chucky,
Come
Cult of
on, really? Cult of Chucky, right? Come on. It doesn't have the impact anymore. Yeah, yeah, good move, Hollywood. Right. Okay.
Yeah, good move. Uh, Apparently they say, oh, I guess Code of Chucky did well. Let's remake it and piss people off. But we
It's
won't
it
bring in the original voice behind Chucky. and he's no longer a quote unquote good guy. He is now a buddy. Let's throw that into the mix as well. Oh God, shoot me
I
now.
just don't know. I just don't know. Why does everything need a reboot? We had
And
Halloween reboot. We had Friday the 13th reboot. We have Chucky reboot. Come on. We don't need reboots. We need fresh ideas.
that's the problem, though. Nobody wants nobody wants original ideas. That kind of goes back to I think a topic that we discussed on either mine or your podcast, Ken, and where I think it was me that brought up the whole crowdfunding stuff, where you take two different campaigns. One is an original idea, one is a fan made project that, you know, we know the idea. So it could be Halloween, Friday the 13th, or even we'll just say sleepaway camp, something that everybody knows, right? Now, which campaign do you think is going to get funded the most out of these two? Is it going to be the original, or is it going to be that project that has a title name that we are all familiar with?
That's a good point. Uh, I would say the one that people are familiar with. Those
Correct.
proved most successful, right?
Yeah, correct. You so here's the thing that I'm trying to get at is like a perfect example was Never Hike Alone, which was probably, in my own opinion, one of the best fan made Friday the 13th films I've seen ever. And yes, I will say I did back it on Indiegogo because you know what? It deserved it. The guy did, Womp Stomp's film did a good job with the fan made Friday the 13th. Hell, I'm surprised they could even get away with it with the lawsuit that's was going on. And, but, you know, there was another original idea at the time that I was looking at. And, you know, they weren't getting the hits like Never Hike Alone was. Why? It's because everybody knew it was Friday the 13th fan made film, and nobody knew what this original idea was. So, you know, it's almost like that thing where do I want to risk my, what to say, $35 on a perk for like to get the movie and stuff, to not like this original idea versus something that I've already seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like it can go both ways though. Um, and it's very sad with crowdfunding anyway. I think nowadays, where I think people might be abusing it way too much, if that makes sense, Ken. But
Right.
what is your idea about the crowdfunding stuff?
I've seen great success with indie filmmakers on crowdfunding platforms, not Kickstarter. I've seen great success with Seed and Spark and the other one. Which was the other one? With any event, uh, it's all about marketing. And I notice when an independent filmmaker has their film, they really hit social media to the point that it becomes almost spam. But they're really showing this is what I made. They usually have a trailer or some type of artwork or short film to show people, and they just keep at it. So, but it also, once again, two filmmakers starting out with this with two different projects, one could be more successful than the other. So it's a gamble, really, until you could figure out that art of how to get funding.
That is true. I've seen. a few campaigns where they hardly do any marketing. They were horrible at giving people updates, and because normally with a Kickstarter or even Indiegogo, you'll at least get an email of an update, like, "Hey, thank you so much. Don't forget to share to help spread the word." What's another one that's usually pretty good? Oh, if you for a limited time, if you back the project, you'll get this free for any pledge that you do or perk or whatever. Like, it's a constant email thing where they want to help get the word out and get you to share the word. But then there's people where they're quiet. They don't make one email, and it's almost like, okay, you expect us you want to hit this specific goal, but you're not marketing it, nor are you giving us updates, and it's just falling apart, and you're not going to reach your goal.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that with a couple of video games. One recently was that video game that players take the role of a demon.
I think I might know which one you're talking about. I just can't think of...
The crowdfunding campaign was a success. I think they surpassed their goal 2 times over. But when the game released, everyone's it was buggy. The enemies had terrible AI, and everyone was so psyched because the developers behind the game were experienced. They had great resume, and when the final product was revealed, it was like, what is this garbage that you guys released? Where did our money go? Yeah.
I think there's been a couple Kickstarter horror stories too, which is crazy too. Yeah. We won't go into those either, because those can get pretty shitty. People spending like $200 something and you never hear from the people again. Oh God. Yeah. There's a lot of horror stories with that too. Yeah. Anyway, back to childhood.
Chucky.
Yeah, no, that's a failure waiting to happen. And isn't Chucky now a robot?
I believe so. I haven't even delved into the plot.
Me either, but I did hear something about Chucky being a robotic boy now instead of just a regular doll. So it's just like, oh great. What else? I don't know. I just think if you're not gonna have the voice of Chucky, nor anybody that we really know or familiar, well, actually, you know what? Let's talk about the doll itself. Have you even seen what this new Chucky looks like?
Yeah, he doesn't look. They kept the same profile of Chucky. What is it that you changed? The clothing a bit, the face.
The face was definitely the noticeable one.
Yeah, it's not going to appeal to modern audiences. It's not. This goes for every 80s horror film. Jason, Michael, Freddy, and Chucky, and Leatherface. They were released at a time that really hit the core of social commentary, or the core of horror enthusiasts looking for that right chemistry in a horror film. You cannot bring back none of these guys because it doesn't apply. We're in an age right now that everyone wants instant gratification. We're on social media. We need something that relates to the times that we're living in.
Correct.
And a killer doll is not going to work. It's not. It's not. And the same way the Halloween film that just got released didn't work. It doesn't work anymore. And I have yet to hear those supporters of the Halloween film to say, "Yeah, you're right. The movie was terrible." I've heard sprinkles that the movie was terrible, but for those supporters that were waiting for the movie to be released, they have kept quiet all this time.
Yep, they did. They did. Which, speaking of Halloween, you can now pre-order it on Amazon for the movie. There's already pre-orders up for the new one. I will say that Halloween 2018 should have just been called H40.
Exactly.
What else can we do to rip the threads? Let's see. What the fuck is going on at the beginning? Why did it take 40 years to get ready? How did Michael? Well, they kind of answered it a little bit, but really, if anybody remembered the original Halloween, where when Michael Myers goes out of the window onto the ground with the doctor looking down at him, and then he looks away for 2 seconds and looks back down, and Michael is gone. Where within that time frame after he got up and left did he get arrested to get put into the mental hospital or mental asylum, I mean, which was about now 40 years into the thing. And so I guess what I'm confused about is, so it literally took 40 years now because, you know, all the other Halloweens don't exist at the moment except for the original. It's just like, so we waited 40 years just for this. Like, it's pretty much a killing spree of body counts. Which, what was the count? I think I said 16 people. I know I was keeping track of how many people were dying. And it almost seemed to be almost the same kills over and over. You know, the knife through the throat, knife through the throat. Oh, look, here's a nod to the original. Oh, look, here's another nod to original. Oh, that was kind of cool, but now this is the comedy, I guess. What's going on with this?
Right.
Oh, look, this guy just got impaled. Yeah. I mean,
the whole hype behind that was because John Carpenter was behind it. I don't care who was behind that film. Hey, you have the same director for Alien, bringing back Alien and Prometheus. What is this shit? I don't want to. So what? I don't care who's behind the film. I don't want to see this again. But everyone was so psyched. Oh my gosh, John Carpenter is producing whatever. Do we really need a slasher film where, I don't know, he's just killing everybody that's in his path? And oh wait, there's a female protagonist. She's strong. She's gonna beat him. We know she's going to beat him. She's the female fucking protagonist. No shit. There's no surprise there. Wow. It was such a template that when a movie was over after I watched it, I was like, okay, so where's the hype? Where was it? Did I miss it? Let me watch it again. Nope, I missed nothing. There's no hype here.
Yeah, you did see it twice, didn't you?
I saw it twice. Of course I saw it twice. every film I watch it more than once just to get, you watch it once for the entertainment, and then you watch it a second time, and you want to see the in-depth psychology behind the characters. There was no psychology behind none of these characters. They were so predictable. It was a cookie cutter. That's a perfect word to describe these characters. Cookie cutter. And I agree. Wait, so this guy, he's in jail he's in a mental institution for 40 years. He manages to escape, and somehow he has superhuman strength. Wow. That's I want to know his exercise regimen. Seriously.
He's drinking that milk, man. He got that milk going.
Oh, shoot. I tell you. Don't get me wrong. The cinematography was nice in this film, but okay, they had the same exact ending as Texas Chainsaw, which you could find in the sequel to The Strangers. The same ending. What were they thinking?
Now, see, I didn't know about The Strangers. I haven't seen that movie because to me, that looks okay. I hear great things about it. I don't hear great things about the sequel, though. Pray at Night, I think it's called.
Right.
Yeah. So once again, that just shows people are running out of ideas. If they got to copy an ending for multiple movies, then there's really no hope in the originality anymore. In this case, it wasn't even original because, like I said, it should have been called H4O. But
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I guess
it was just the same thing. Didn't Michael Myers escape in an accident, in a bus accident? Wasn't that in part one, part two? Come on, it's the same thing again. Then he goes to town. The only difference in this film is that Laurie is not his brother, her sister, and he just goes into random people's houses and kills them. Why? Why just it just doesn't make sense. It has no style. There's no style. You create a serial killer as in a slasher film, he has to have style and he has to have reason. I was told that John Carpenter wanted to create a killer that he's just a killing machine. Okay, that works, but why? Why does he do it? What is his motivation? Mike Jason does it for revenge. Freddy does it because he's a pedophile, and Chucky do it again. I forgot what's his motivation.
Get out of the body.
Yeah. Get out of the body.
Get out of the doll body.
Oh, so he has a complex. Okay.
I don't want to be stuck a doll.
Not anymore, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because the idea was that he wanted
to cheat
death, but he also wanted what's her face to have the baby because
let's not get into that. How does Chucky have sex and has a child? Let's not even get into that.
Well, this is before Seed of Chucky. We're talking before he went into the body, though. Because what was the lady's name that was pregnant that he was all over trying to say like have the baby for us and
fertility.
Yes, and oh God, just no. That Seed of Chucky wasn't even a horror; it was a fucking comedy. And I also hear rumors that we're gonna be seeing the he-she again. Gwendolyn, whatever the name is. Oh God.
Oh Yes.
I'm gonna be seeing him, whatever, it again, in a future movie, apparently, from what I understood. Which I
Yeah.
don't know how much worse it can get than that, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but for this Halloween, it's if you've seen one Halloween, you've seen them all. And that ending, it remind me of the ending with who was in it? LL Cool J, I think it was. Oh no, Coolio. One of those. There was a rapper in it, and he died the exact same way. Well, supposedly died. Michael Myers will always escape. He's fucking Houdini. But I said, wait a second. I just saw that ending in whatever other Halloween that was, that he got caught and this thing happened. And how? What? Oh, God.
That
I hope they make another one.
wasn't Resurrection, was it?
I know one of the rappers were in there, either Coolio or LL Cool J.
Got killed by Michael Myers. You're saying yes to Resurrection, you think? Yeah, Tesla's shaking her head yes to Resurrection.
Buster. Don't
Yeah.
ask me how I know that.
Yeah, so there's the answer, Ken.
That's the one. He died the same way in Resurrection. There you go.
Yeah, and that's all. No, wait. That was H2O, I think, when they finally killed Lori, and then Resurrection, like brought her back. Something.
They did some sort of like television thingy or whatever. They videotaped going into his house or some shit like that. I forget. Like,
that's the one.
Ratings.
Yep. Okay, so that's the one. Yep.
The one.
Yep.
Yep.
So now it became found footage. We're all over again. Oh wait, wrong movie. Well, you know what? That makes sense now. It must have been Michael Myers down at the bottom of the basement in Blair Witch that was standing in that corner.
That could be it. That could be it. Michael Myers was my favorite serial killer archetype, but
slasher horror genre, yeah.
It's all right. Put that idea on the shelf. Please, just don't do it again. John Carpenter, do something else. Find something and do it. Original.
They're already planning the next Halloween movie.
I'm not surprised.
Which this brings up this next question that I have now. So, Ken, because of the ending of Halloween 2018, right? This movie was supposed to be the final confrontation between Michael and Laurie. So if we're going to be getting another Halloween movie, are we not going to be seeing Laurie in this? Because if not, then how can we do that? Like, how can we get that ending of Halloween 2018 to not bring her back? Jamie Lee Curtis had already stated that the only way she would do another Halloween is if the same director did it again. That would be the only way.
Well, let's see what happens. But of course, money talks. So she could say that now, but if the paycheck is hefty, sure she's going to say otherwise.
I don't think the paycheck's going to be hefty, especially when Halloween has already made close to, what was it, 100 mil, if not more.
That's it. Wow. I was reading when Halloween came out, all these news outlets for horror praising the weekend box office sales for 2 weeks in a row. But I said, okay, guys, that's cool. Where is your review on Halloween? What is your opinion on Halloween? I don't care about the box office sales. How was the plot? Do you think these characters were well developed? Not a word. Jamie, I don't know how the second part for this Halloween is going to be. I don't know. It's Michael Myers died. How the hell does he escape that? He died. You cannot say there was a back door. You can't say that he broke down a wall and walked out. We clearly see that he became toast. How is
Yeah.
he coming back? Doesn't make sense.
I will say again that like me and Tessa talked about when we wrote our review for Halloween for our website, and it was we liked the house. We liked what Jamie Lee Curtis when she played as Laurie, what she did with the what we call the trap house. We don't even call it a house. We just called it the trap house because it was very well made with how she set up the whole. Each room had its own gate that came down to lock Michael Myers in the room if he was in there. And plus, with the propane, I'll say.
Here's my theory about what she was doing. As she was going room to room and she was sealing it off, she was putting him in the direction she wanted him to go. She didn't want to give him any place to hide. She was luring him downstairs to the basement on purpose. So she was sealing off every room that she didn't find him in to put him where she wanted him.
True, but in each room though, they had the pipe that gave the propane. So no matter what room he was in, it would have sparked the explosion anyway with the dynamite thing that she had. Which, that was cool. That was cool. The only other thing I liked about the Halloween was the soundtrack. And Tessa can back me on this too, and I think Ken can now too, is that I love soundtracks. And I think how this Halloween soundtrack was pretty good, even though, you know, it's just like a Halloween soundtrack, but there was some nice additions, as I may say, to the score, which we kind of don't hear from the other Halloween soundtrack that we hear. I mean, kind of like going back to like what Ken said. But I'm going to reword it, which is Ken was saying, if you watch one Halloween movie, then you know the fucking story. It's just like if you listen to one Halloween CD of a soundtrack, then you know the fucking music.
Exactly. I don't know. I hope they don't make another one. I hope no. But that's just me. As soon as the announcement comes out, you're gonna hear everybody come out the woodwork and say, "Yeah, all right, yeah," and then they're gonna be
people already
silent.
What are you talking about? People already are praising the next one already. They're like, "Oh my god, this was like the best one yet." What else has people said? This beat the original. What?
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 Get out of here.
How did this beat the original when this is the fucking 40 years after the original? God.
It has no merit whatsoever.
People amaze me every day when it comes to the horror community.
It does, and those who praise this film, okay, it's cool, it's a slasher, all right, but it's not up to par on where it should with all the hype behind it. I was expecting something darker, more development with the character. I didn't want to see cookie cutter and a guy walking around killing everybody. Come on, I'll just watch every other Halloween or Friday the 13th there's no value there whatsoever. Give me something different. I want something different.
So what did you think of the comedy in the Halloween? What did you think of the comedy?
I heard about you're not the first one to mention the comedy aspect. I think I was so watching it, it just didn't occur to me that there were comedic elements in the film. I'm watching this film, and what am I watching? That's the first thing that came to my head. In the mid part where he drives to the gas station and he takes the first two victims, I said to myself, okay, and what is this again? What am I watching? Oh, okay. Seems, I don't know, the hills have eyes type of thing going here. Come on. No, it just didn't work.
Oh, man. Well, I did read somebody's review. It was actually the first review that I read where they actually tore the film up. I forget who the website is at the moment, but they tore up the movie. And one of the things that they noted was how come those reporters did not see Michael Myers beating up the guy that was behind the counter, and then how come they didn't hear the guy that was in the garage getting killed within the time frame that he would put it in the gas and the lady went to the bathroom. So
the first thing, females are so particular of where they use the restroom at. That woman should not be sitting in no dirty ass toilet seat whatsoever. No. That right there, as you would have said, you know what? This place is too filthy. Let's go to a hotel, and that's it. They would not have been killed. Let's just take it like that.
yeah. And then the one part that really was getting annoying to me was the Ken, you're gonna have to help me with this one. It was the school dance, right? That was going on where
Right.
the guy that was the kid or teenager, whatever, was dressed up as the devil that was trying to make a move on Lori's daughter, and
Right.
he said some weird comment that was trying to be funny, and I remember shaking my head, going, "Is this supposed to be a fucking comedy, or is this supposed to be a horror movie? Because I'm confused now." And
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I think the one thing that I wish too was that we heard that Nick Castle, the original Shape, was coming back. I kind of wish he had more parts for Michael than just the part that I only heard that he was in, which was the part where Michael Myers was outside and he did that infamous tilted head part. And that's supposedly all Nick Castle shot. Because there was the other guy that played Michael that did everything else. So I just kind of wish that if you're going to bring back the original Shape, he should have at least had a bigger role. Yeah, so if you're going to have the original Shape, which it was Nick Castle, at least give him more parts. Because he was the Shape. Not, what's the new guy's name?
Yeah, the new guy.
Yeah.
New Michael.
Well, you know it's sad when the hype train was going on with that movie, is that all you heard was Nick Castle. You didn't even ever hear anything about the new guy. It was always Nick Castle, and so I'm thinking to myself, oh, Nick Castle is going to be back in his role, and then later on you find out, oh, he's only just in that one scene where he does his infamous head turn, and that's it.
Yeah. And like I was saying, it doesn't make sense. We're talking about a film that is entertainment value. We take it at heart. We can't nitpick on what if scenarios because it's fiction. And before I was comparing Halloween to Chinese food, and Chinese food tastes great. Chinese food tastes great, and but just like Halloween, it pacifies the appetite. But guess what? 10, 15 minutes later, you're hungry again. So you got to eat something else. Yeah, that's what Halloween is. It pacifies the hunger for a slasher film. But once you leave the theater, like, okay, I want to see something more, much better, something that would really get my palate going.
And I'm going to put a
That's a
pun
good parent.
intended on this, on what you were just saying about Chinese food, because Tessa and I had Chinese food last night, so there's the pun intended.
So good, though.
Yes, it is so good. But I just thought it was funny that he had to bring up Chinese, and then I'm like, oh, this could get interesting because it's like a pun intended now because we had Chinese last night.
I'm about to get Chinese myself.
There you go.
But it's perfect. That I compare Halloween to Chinese food.
Amazing.
Sure. That's it. That's it. Unless you go to those all-you-can-eat buffets, then it's a different story. You'll be full for quite a while because you just stuffed your face with everything.
Yep. Which those can be very bad at the same time because you don't want to stop eating because Chinese is so good.
Exactly. Oh, I love me some Chinese food. I have one in particular. Always good. I even gave it my own name to the dish. I call it the Ghetto Valley meal. And the Ghetto Valley meal is half a chicken with pork fried rice and a shrimp roll. That's the Ghetto Valley meal. Because over here, it's kind of cheap. They went up in price a couple of dollars, but it's still fairly cheap.
Me and Tessa like the whole sesame chicken with fried rice and the egg roll. Yeah, pork fried rice, yeah. With the egg roll. That's what we like. And that's about $10 here.
$15 for the two of us.
Yes, there you go.
Not bad. That's not bad at all.
No.
But I wonder what's right. The cats, our cats, they love to eat what we have on the plate. But when I give them the piece of the pork from the pork fried rice, they smell it, and they, like they pass their paw over it. Like if they did something in the kitty litter, they scratch the floor. So I'm saying, what do you smell that I don't smell that you think that you need to cover it up? What? I don't know. That always bugs me out. I don't know.
Our cat Obi likes to cover his food like a dog. And what else does he like to do? He cries because he thinks he's skin and bone when he's not. And he likes to come up to you if you're eating something like chicken or whatever, but he'll stare at you and have that beg face. But as soon as you give him the food that you're trying to eat, like chicken, we'll say, he won't eat it for some weird reason. It's like, so you're making me waste my food, and yet here you are, like, staring at me.
Right. Yeah, our cat does the same thing too. One of our cats, when he smells something spicy on the food, which is from me, of course, because I put peppers or whatever, he shakes his paw. That's his indicator that says, hey, this is too spicy for me. He just smells it, shakes his paw, and walks away. But my wife could be eating the same thing with no hot sauce or nothing, and he'll just eat it off like nothing. So the cats have character, I tell you.
Yep, cats have their own personality, that's for sure.
Which our vet yesterday complimented Cinder's personality. Said he had quite the personality, that he was a lover. Which is good. Good, because that's exactly what I need in a an emotional support therapy animal.
Right.
Well, he had to get a shot yesterday, so Tessa held him, right? And he gets the shot. And you know how most cats are. They're kind of like, what the fuck was that? No, not Cinder. He was just like, oh, hey, play with me. What was that? So he never once, like, acted like he, hated the vet. He was just more...
He was very like nonchalant and relaxed and like laid back about it, and it's pretty funny because you normally see
cats do
that, especially ours.
Especially at a vet. All right. So yeah. So I won't change my subject, which is they should have just called it H4O. And if you guys want to check out our review that we did, just go to our website at ehpodcast.com, and you should be able to find our Halloween review there. Ken, did you guys at DK ever do a review for the movie too?
No, I think the film killed my brain cells, and I couldn't write for like 2 days after that. So no, we did not jump on this film and write a review. There's so many other films out there that kept us busy though from covering. I think no, as a matter of fact, we had to go to the Women in Horror Film Festival, and we're still dealing with covering that event, getting everything together.
You had a really good time with that from what I saw, so that's awesome.
That was awesome. A great event. I recommend it to anyone who wants to go to their first film festival. That would be the one.
Nice. Ken, anything else that you want to say for Halloween before we close the book on that one?
No, we could close the book, bury it, and wait another 40 years for the next installment for that film to surface.
And then you're gonna unearth that dinosaur time capsule. Oh boy!
Oh God!
The horror.
John Carpenter. I think they'll clone him just to produce that next one.
Oh geez, well, as long as Jamie Lee Curtis get the same director, we'll see her again. If not, it doesn't sound like we'll see her in the next one. Which, like I pointed out earlier, I don't know how that's even possible because I'm so confused with the movie again, like I said, with the final confrontation between Michael and Laurie, and it ended up just being a rehash version of H2O, and as you're saying, like the ending with the strangers and Texas Chainsaw and stuff like that, it's just, I just don't understand then why we got told that it's supposed to be the final confrontation when it's not. They're clearly doing a fucking sequel to it, which people are now calling this sequel Halloween 3. Anyway, that's going to be another title. For the last topic that I have for this is the upcoming sequel to a video game, which is Layers of Fear. There is a trailer out right now for Layers of Fear 2. It looks interesting from what the trailer has given us as a glimpse of what we're going to be dealing with. And for those that may not know, the first game, Layers of Fear, dealt with a disturbing artist who painted with crushed up child bones and blood and a couple other things that I don't recall right now. But it's one of those games where you're just like, what? Like, what am I even playing? And why are we in this house? But then you find out you're playing as the daughter of the father that you're trying to recollect old memories and finish the painting, I guess. And but now with Layers of Fear 2, I guess we're gonna be following a disturbed actor, I guess. So, and it looks like we're gonna be going on a ship and a theater. So that's all I know so far. And it looks pretty interesting. I don't know if Ken has much as he can say about Layers of Fear 2, but I'm looking forward to it whenever it comes out next year. So Ken, what about you? What can you say about Layers of Fear?
I have not played the game Layers of Fear. I've seen the trailers for the first one. I haven't seen the trailer for the second one. I know the concept for Layers of Fear. I find it to be very interesting, but I just need the time to sit down and play video games. I have zero time at all. It's 24 hours goes so fast in a day.
For DecayMag, yes, it does for you. You're always busy, which is a good thing.
Yes, it is. I enjoy it, but I wish, because that's one area that we are lax in, which is covering video games. And in order to cover video games, you have to sit and play with the video game. And video games, such as Layers of Fear, is you need to sit there for a good 4 to 6 hours to solve the puzzles and do the missions and whatever else that you need to do before you say, okay, I have enough data to get a full-fledged review.
Yes. Yeah, I just can't wait. I really enjoyed Layers of Fear. I love the environment. I'm not sure if Ken, if you're familiar with the environment too, how it changes around. Where 1 minute you could be looking at a really small room, and then you turn around and then you're looking at a fucking long hallway. I don't know if you're familiar with any of that type of gameplay of it, but the environment changes, which I loved, because it makes you think you're going crazy or there's some type of maybe not that, but maybe there's definitely like a time portal thing going on, or there's something going on where why were you just
disappearing?
It must be the weather. We must be getting the bad thing, or going to be. It must be. So yes, Ken just left. Note to myself, Ken just left. So go back and start deleting.
That disconnected again, but I did catch it. The game that best describes that you just referring to with this scenery change would have to be oh shit, what is the name of that? It just came out. Fuck. That survival horror game. It just came out this last year, as a matter of fact. Holy shit. I have a brain fart.
We're not speaking Evil Within.
The Evil Within. Yes, that's the one. I see. I was about to type in Google. That's the one. There's one scene that the protagonist is walking, and all of a sudden everything changes around him, and he looks behind him, and the hallway's dark, and the paintings are crying, and all this stuff. That is genius, because it bridges the gap between the supernatural and psychological. and to incorporate that in a video game makes it so surreal. I love those type of visuals.
Yeah, it's almost like a crack between reality and the unknown, and it worked out really well. But in this case, with the evil within, you are in the unknown. You're in the what the hell did they call it? The STEM system. So it's a world created by the evil, corrupted company that is also escaping my brain right now. But they made it so that they could, control people's minds in a way. I mean, look at the DLC in the first game with Kidman. Whatever she did, she was always being watched by that guy that you didn't know who he was until the very end. And, he was always watching her step. And it's just one of those things where she was controlled no matter what. It just came down to being controlled. And same with Kidman. She would walk through a door and the scenery would change to like the playground where oh God, why am I having a brain fart right now?
Because we need Chinese food.
Yeah, I guess so. Where the kid that they're trying to get him, like he's out there losing his mind, and he's even repeating himself. And Rubik, there we go.
Okay.
And, well, maybe that's not the kid's name, but that's the enemy's name. But we all know who I mean by Rubik, so I'm just gonna say Rubik for now because that kid name is definitely out of my brain right now. But yes, it's kind of like that. Yes.
But in the video game Layers of Fear, it's not first person or third person. How is it? First person?
Yep.
And just solving puzzles throughout the entirety of the game. No bosses or shooting or nothing like that.
Not really. Like I said, there was like a really one weird part in the DLC where you had to pick up the quote-unquote knight's sword to slay the monster that was roaming around this one specific area. But it was like the whole area was like cardboard or something. So it wasn't really like a enemy per se. It was like one of those storytelling things. Yeah.
I've seen survival horror move away from the strong soldier character or the strong protagonist, and the protagonists that the players control are regular people. They could be a toddler stuck in his dream to someone that is dealing with a psychological trauma and they're stuck in their mind. That I find it to be very well executed, and that's what's really changing survival horror in the indie scene. Not so much for the major labels like EA and the other one. They still stuck in that other era that you need a gun to shoot all the zombies or whatever. And I gotta try Layers of Fear. You had mentioned that Steam may have a Black Friday sale. I may pick it up and okay, that's one thing. I could buy it, but where's the time to play?
Right before you go to bed.
Right. That's
or
a
you
good
can
idea,
always
right?
just move your sleep time to play in game time.
Oh, I've done that. I tell you, when I used to play Left 4 Dead, that would be the case. I would be up to 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I would have to go to work the 9 to 5. I'd wake up at 6. Oh my God, those were the days.
Those were sounding like the days. I remember coming home from work at 10 o'clock at night or 11 at night and playing games all the way up to 3 o'clock in the morning and then go to bed and then get up around 11 o'clock noon, get ready for work and do it all over again.
Yeah. Well, we are living in a different era. We're talking about a few years ago from Left 4 Dead, and now you have gamers on YouTube and Twitch and all these other platforms that's what they do. They wake up and play the games and get paid for it. So it's it's wonderful and interesting in a way how video games have just changed the landscape across the board.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, for anybody that does get a second, like Ken here, if you have not played Layers of Fear, I would definitely recommend it. It is a nice story from a pretty well-known company, and Bloober Team anyway. They're pretty known for a couple other games as well, and I just hope with Layers of Fear 2 they keep somewhat of the same stuff that we got to see with Layers of Fear, but it almost looks like they stepped up their game a little bit with Layers of Fear 2 because you kind of see it in the trailer. So it'll be really fun, and I can't wait for Layers of Fear 2 when that comes out next year.
I may pick that one up. It looks good. Looks interesting, and I like a good story. Storytelling in video games. That's one thing I look for. I don't look for the shooting and whatever. I need story and a character.
Yes, we need to engross within the character of why we should like this character, why we should feel bad. Speaking of characters, so did you ever get a chance to try out the Conjuring House?
Yes, I did. And unfortunately, at certain levels of the game, I just stopped playing. At certain levels of the game, it just crashes and I can't continue. So I am unsure what is the problem there. But the little that I did play, I enjoyed it. I just got to get used to that first person view. I'm used to seeing the character. Even if it's just even if it's over the shoulder, like in Dead Space, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the creep factor is there. I like the environment. It's just I don't know, for some reason it keeps crashing.
I wonder why. Well, another one that you should check out, Ken, if you ever do get a chance, is Visage. That's definitely another one I would recommend. Is Visage. Everybody should know that by now that I backed it back in Kickstarter days, and I still can't wait for it after playing the early access that we can get our hands on right now. So, and it looks phenomenal, and they have an Easter egg for Silent Hill 4 in it too, which was amazing. And I think a lot of people will appreciate this game once it actually does come out. So, I can't wait. But back to you, Ken, real quick, about the Conjuring House. The one thing I will say about that game is, and I don't know how far you are to really, if you got the idea down, but I felt Conjuring House after watching some people play it. It almost seemed like it was a hunt for the key or hunt for the item type of game. There was always something, a key or something you had to find. But then again, yeah. So I don't know where you are to say, do you feel like that, or have you not gotten that far where you feel like this is like a key hunting game?
Yeah, right away I knew it was one of those hunting for the clues type thing. Nothing extravagant. Uh, that's basically what even before playing the game, I knew it was going to be like that. But for some strange reason, like I said, it just keeps crashing and whatever. Once that happens, I'm like, all right, whatever. On to the next project.
Well, I hope that the studio will put out a patch for it or something. I'm surprised they still haven't yet. I know if you haven't seen it, but I hope one day you'll be able to continue it, and I'm looking forward to your view and article on it when that day comes. That's for sure.
Yeah, I need to get back on that, and yeah, I love Steam. You could find so many indie horror games on there that I was so
good, bad, shitty, awesome. Yeah, there's a mix.
Yeah, that too. But you don't find those games on the Xbox or PlayStation. It's like, okay, all right, this is the place to be here. Well, you need a good computer system.
I'm gonna throw in that not yet for the console thing that you just said. Not yet, but console is a pain in the ass to get a game on, I will say.
Yeah, they have to port this more programming and all these other things that goes along with it.
Yes. But okay, Ken, I about it that I have. If there's anything else you have, this is the time. Otherwise, thank you for helping me out with this discussing of what would have been a roundtable, but it was quite fun, entertaining. I hope everybody here enjoyed it as well. If not, I'm so sorry for wasting your time, I guess. But at least you had fun talking and hearing about the zombies at the beginning. That was fun.
Zombies, that is a classic right there. Classic. You cannot go wrong with a good zombie storyline for video games, but for film, that's a different story. Hollywood got to get their act together, because it seems like the foreign market know what to do with that type of character.
That's true. That is true. But then again, with a zombie outbreak thing, you have the potential of making it go a lot of ways. It's just finding the right formula. It's, I guess, like how we were talking earlier about Dying Light. When it hits nighttime, you're pretty much fucked if you do not have the right equipment and weapons and stuff. You're pretty much gonna get your ass handed to you unless you somehow make it to a safe room. So, right. But I mean, I just hope we see a little bit more different type of zombie approach too in the future when it comes to film wise. Maybe somebody just needs to go back and, oh my God, that just reminds me. We're going to go back to the zombie topic now. And because of that, it's going to be real quick. But I'm somewhat excited that George Romero's son is making a prequel to Night of the Living Dead.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
I am very interested in it, but the only problem with that is, what can you do? I mean, if you're gonna, especially when you're making a prequel or a sequel, I'm pretty sure prequel to a beloved classic. I don't know really what you can do, and the only other thing I want to know is it keeping it black and white?
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what type of information there really is out there. I haven't really been on it, but I have seen like, okay, yes, it is happening. It's going on. George Romero's son is doing it, and it's a prequel apparently, or sequel. I know it's one of those, but I'm just find it interesting. But yeah, that's my one last thing for the zombie topic. I promise.
Well, if they do it, I hope they do it right. And even if the zombies are slow walking cannibal corpses, uh, it'll be intriguing because hmm, the Living Dead series were hit and miss, but each of them had a social commentary. Even Diary of the Dead, it had a social commentary that had to do with social media. So even though it wasn't successful, but they each told us their own unique story.
Yeah, I enjoyed Diary of the Dead. It was very interesting how George created something like that. I thought it worked out anyway. I mean, look at the other one that was going that they made, Diary of the Cannibals, I think it was called, which was interesting, I guess. Or Diary of the Zombies, I forget.
Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, I know it's Diary of the Dead, but then they had another one that was like Diary of the Zombies or Diary of the Cannibals or something. Anyway, Ken, thanks so much. Unless there is, like I said, anything else that you need to add, now at the time. Otherwise, where can we find DecayMag?
DecayMag. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest at DecayMag. DecayMag. I always got to emphasize that we are DecayMag, not DK Magazine or DK or the word DK. It just surprises me why people think we are DecayMag. Anyway, or visit our website, decaymag.com.
Awesome. And you guys can find Everything Horror Podcast pretty much on everywhere too. We started Pinterest too, but I'm having Tessa do that, and she's kind of slacking on that. But that's okay.
Slacking?
Uh-oh.
Anyway, yeah, so make sure that you check out Pinterest. I don't even know. Thanks, actually, Tessa is here. Tessa, how can people find us on Pinterest?
I'll have to pull it up. You just search, you type into the search bar Everything Horror Podcast.
Okay, so then just type in Everything Horror Podcast, and there you go. You can type in Everything Horror Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Otherwise, all the links and more can be found at ehpodcast.com. Thank you guys so much for joining. Ken, thank you once again. And we'll have to meet up again soon again so we can talk more of other upcoming stuff that is happening. And hopefully we can get more people next time to do a roundtable instead of this two-man discussion thing, which was nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's also good to also get other people's input for other things. Kind of like if we had Steven here from Possessed Radio, because we all know the famous question that he likes to be asked, which is, how did Michael Myers learn how to drive?
Exactly.
And on that note, guys, thank you so much for listening. And as always, stay scary.